Hey, folks, welcome back. America Fest here, and I keep wanting to say America West. I feel like a cowboy because I'm so far displaced from my home.
It's the Wild Wild West out here, that's for sure.
Well, I flew over the Wild Wild West because I came from New Orleans, so I flew. Once you leave San Antonio, you fly over the Permian Basin, and you fly over New Mexico for like a day.
Yeah.
And then you fly over two-thirds of Arizona for a day, and you're like, man, how can anyone live here? Where's the life? Anyway, we're at America Fest, and joined by Monica Paige, who is White House correspondent for TPUSA.
Yep.
So most people probably don't know, why would TPUSA need a White House correspondent? Because most people, well, they think of Turning Point Action,
right,
and then Turning Point USA are two separate entities.
Yeah, one's like a 501c3, the other one's a 50c4. So there's a little bit of like, there's a fine line there, but I'm going to bring straight down the middle, honest reporting here because I can't have any sort of bias because of the 501c3. But nonetheless, thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, it's been such a wild experience the last year and a half covering the Biden administration. Previously for One America News, now at Turning Point, I'm just really excited to kind of break the barriers here and see how the press briefing room is going to get shaken up. We need to shake things up. This has been a long time coming. I'm hoping that some real effective change will take place because we need it now more than ever.
It's interesting that Monica went to Marist College, the alma mater of Bill O'Reilly. Mm-hmm. Do they have like a Bill O'Reilly Hall at Marist?
Absolutely not. Actually, while I was there, they revoked his honorary status because of some alleged sexual assaults back in college. They wanted nothing to do with him. I'm sure they're I'm sure they're distancing themselves from me as well. I'm sure they don't like to promote my success on any of their pages. But I went to Marist because of Bill O'Reilly. I grew up. My dad was watching Fox News, and I would watch his show when Jesse Waters was one of his production assistants and was doing the man on the street stuff. And I was like, I want to be just like Bill O'Reilly. I love his style. I love his reporting. So that's why I went to Marist.
Jesse Waters is a great story.
Yeah.
Guy literally starts bringing the mail truck through Fox News. The mail cart gets in the production department, and then he's the man on the street for, was it for O'Reilly? I think it was for O'Reilly.
Yeah, for his late night show.
Yeah, for the late night show, and then he started making appearances on Gutfeld. It's an actual work your way up, which you think doesn't happen. Okay, so Monica and I were talking shop here because she's in TV, I'm in radio. I worked for 6 years for ABC. Yeah. I worked on your end. I was a news anchor, and I provided commentary for the ABC TV station in New Orleans. And they did a very unique product called News with a Twist. But it was kind of like it was a news show, but it wasn't a news show. And I have fond, wonderful memories. I was the token conservative Catholic in the most formerly Catholic city in all the United States. They ran me out because of my Catholicism. It just, and they never said that. Right. But it's just kind of the way things work here in broadcast media. And you and I were talking about, so I just threw a little personal stuff in there. Okay. You and I were talking about Matt Gaetz.
Yes.
Okay, so, and I told Monica, so I'm going to tell you exactly what I told Monica. Mm-hmm. I said that Matt Gaetz is going to find out really quick who his real friends are. Yeah. Because he's going to start inviting them on shows, and this isn't going to be for Congress votes now. This is going to be for one of the most difficult, the most difficult things to navigate in your entire life, and that is the human sin of pride.
Yep.
Because they all are the best. They all are the best. Yep. Why didn't you book me? I could have done that. That son of a bitch gets. He's going to find out here, and I don't wish that on anyone because I don't think that he got into lawyering to get into TV. Yeah. You and I got into broadcasting because we wanted to.
Yep. And I think it's going to be very interesting because there are Congress people and members on the Hill and just like public figures in general who won't come on certain networks because they're not going to be given the amount of audience that they want, the reach that they want. So you have a really good point there. So I'm going to be interested to see what kind of guests he does bring in. I mean, I'm sure because of the name, Matt Gaetz, he holds a lot of weight here. But at the end of the day, I mean, if Fox News is going to give you that reach, people are going to want to choose Fox over any other network at the end of the day.
And that's the thing about...
That's the thing.
I have a real problem, Monica, with people that Mike, why don't you have such on your show? Dude, it's not like I didn't try.
Yeah.
The response I get from the booker, the first thing I'll get back is, how many people in your audience? You've just crossed the ethical divide, and I really don't have any interest in you now.
Right.
You're not worried about the quality and integrity of the broadcast that we're going to produce. Instead, you're worried about the instant gratification of the click.
Yeah.
And that's something that's wrong with broadcasting today.
That stuff really irks me because, I mean, I want to do every media and any media that I can. I want to share my story. I want to get to know you. I want to build this connection. And wouldn't anybody else want to do that as well? It gives me a very bad feeling, and I don't know why. I guess it has to do with money. It's got to do with money. It's got to do with appearance. It's got to do with reach. At the end of the end, you're killing a great connection. I mean, who wants that? You know what I mean?
But how many great connections never get started?
Right.
They're not killing them. They won't let them.
And who's going to discover you as well? And what other people could you possibly inspire by doing this interview? I mean, you're going to hear my story, or someone's going to hear your story and be like, wow, that was really great. I want to share this on other platforms. Or how can I get in touch with this person and open more doors? People, it's a whole situation of pride, and I think people are going to learn very quickly this doesn't work out.
Monica, I have been engrossed in this all day. Yesterday I was fighting I was fighting the demons of tech yesterday. Literal gremlins running all around.
Gremlins in the wires.
They got the best of us. But we finally bested their behinds this morning, and it's been pretty good the rest of the day. I haven't seen any news. You told me, and I'm going like, what? So, folks, breaking news, literally, to most of you, it was certainly breaking news to me. Apparently, there was something that was going to come out of the House of Representatives called the Trump CR.
Yep.
And you're the news. You are the anchor. You tell them what happened.
Well, the Trump CR came out and to keep the government running and to keep the government going before the holiday season, because the government's facing a looming shutdown, and a lot of people were not in favor of this pork-filled bill that was going to, give raises to some of our congresspeople, a $70,000 raise, give more money to Ukraine. It was just a pork-filled bill that benefits nobody at the end of the day. So this was something that many people were fighting. There was a lot of infighting over it. Elon Musk said, don't support this bill. Then Trump came out and said, I like this one. And there's a whole list of Republicans that went against it and said, no, I don't want this one. And Congresswoman Nancy Mace was one of the ones who said no to it. So there was some drama. Nancy Mace was ousted on social media for her history of, I guess what you can say, interesting background. I mean, she called for the support of George Floyd and said, a year ago today, back in 2021, George Floyd was killed, or called Zelensky the next George Washington.
I remember that.
So this was all getting rehashed now as of last night, this morning, and Nancy Mace hit back at the specific person that was calling her out on her past and said, I have 2 words for this person. Am I allowed to name names?
Absolutely.
Jack Posobiec, who is Turning Point's finest. We love him very much. Nancy Mace tweeted at him and said, I have 2 words for Jack Posobiec. Would not. Now, he's a married man with 2 children, insinuating that she would not sleep with him. What congresswoman would ever say anything like that? That is A, completely unprofessional, that is disgusting and inappropriate. So he said, why are you insinuating that I would ever sleep with you? That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to bring the truth to the people and show your history of infidelity to the Republican Party. And then Jack Posobiec's wife, who's lovely, Tanya Tay, got involved and said, honey, why would he want to rent a Honda Civic when he's got a Ferrari at home? And there you have it. So there was this whole back and forth this morning, last night, what have you. And I just think that it's disgusting. I mean, you could do some trolling. We do some trolling, President Trump says. But that's just inappropriate. That crosses lines. Posobiec's a great guy. He's been married, 2 beautiful children. Don't insinuate that. Don't pull an AOC. Oh, he just wants to sleep with me. What?
I will also remind people that you may have forgotten this. This is the woman that went to the prayer breakfast, showed up late, got on stage and went and gave the reason why. You know what I'm talking about. You know where I'm going with this?
I think so.
When she got on the stage, she told the reason why she was late. She said, well, I woke up this morning with my boyfriend, and my boyfriend started rubbing my lower back, like, and I said, no, baby, not right now. You can have that tonight. I got to get to the prayer breakfast. I'm like,
this.
You told this story in front of a bunch of Christians? That's the same woman who tweeted that to Jack.
There's a line that's got to be crossed. It's just inappropriate. I mean, isn't it the same woman didn't she take a video of herself when she was drinking with some of her gay friends and was like spitting alcohol into their mouths and like doing this weird game or something? I don't know. I mean, whatever you do in your spare time, fine. But you got to know, like, this is going to be posted somewhere. I mean, It's just inappropriate. You don't say it, especially during AmFest, by the way, which is a very interesting timing, by the way, to do something like that.
By the way, Jack Posobiec is a very devout Catholic today.
Yes.
We're in the season of Advent, which is kind of penitential.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Jack is probably not eating today because it's Ember Friday for all you Catholics out there.
Mm-hmm.
I am one. It's Ember Friday. And just to do that to Jack, just to me, is just, it's one of those offenses where you go like, well, I could do the Lord's Prayer and I could forgive. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, and that's what I find myself arguing. Like when I think about what's happening to the state of our country, I'm like, I don't want to coexist with you. I don't want to coexist with the liberals who want to chop off their child's genitals in the name of gender-affirming care. I don't want to coexist with people who want our open borders and putting our women at risk. I don't want to coexist with you. I'm done with you.
Tell me what you really think.
There you go. That's exactly what I think.
But Monica, I also think, and I've been thinking a lot about this. My big thing is when it comes to broadcast, we can fix most of what has gone wrong by a restoration of Christian ethics. Almost everything is an ethical breach. What she did was an ethical breach. That's not ethical. If we had broadcasting guilds, we guild members would take care of it because she would be gone.
Yeah,
she would be gone.
She would.
And when I think about this, I don't know that. Well, you're the media now. Elon's thing on X. I am not convinced that having an insight into all of the thoughts on every piece of legislation or every issue in the world from our elected leaders, if you will, I'm not convinced that I gain, that's a net gain at the end of the day. I almost wish someone would say, dude, just shut up.
Yeah.
Go about your business. Answer the phone. Here, could you answer my call instead of going on social media and telling it to everyone? Why don't you just take my call?
Right.
Right. I'm not sure that this is because I think there's some entertainment that's going on in there, and I think that they're actually competing for likes and they're competing for clicks, and I don't think that that's how you run a government, and I don't think that's how you legislate.
Yeah, no, there's some truth to that. I mean, that goes, again, with what we're saying about everyone's the media now. I mean, if you're just going to post something for the likes and the clicks, I mean, and it's not necessarily that truthful, I mean, you're not part of the media. You're just a liar at the end of the day.
There you go.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one thing to be honest and truthful and admit, maybe that you're wrong in some of your reporting, at least that you're honest. But I mean, at least, like, bring some truth to the American people. And it's interesting. I'm very interested to see what the future of the media is going to be, because now that everybody is a so-called journalist right now, I don't necessarily know if that's a good thing, because there's going to be so many people saying so many different things in order to get many people to get their heads all twisted.
You are a journalist.
Yeah.
You sign your name to your work.
You got to fact check triple times. Not once, not twice, 3 times. Make sure everything is right. All your I's and T's are dotted and crossed. It's important.
Our Crusade Radio Network News, our Crusade News Channel, it's a graphic I found from the 1960s. It's the 1960s newsroom. It's actually the San Francisco Chronicle.
Yeah.
It's a black and white photo, and these guys are all smoking. They're chain smoking. And in the background is, make it first, get it right. Mm-hmm. They cared about that.
They cared. They had.
This was a banner, the size of those banners over there in the newsroom. Make it first, get it right. Mm-hmm. That's important.
It's better to be second and right than first and wrong.
There you go.
I'll always say that. It doesn't matter if you say you're breaking the story, right? There was a situation that I was dealing with in my previous employment where somebody broke the news where they really thought that this was the person who was attempting to assassinate President Trump. And that name that was not the person. It was not the person.
I saw it.
And I didn't touch it. I didn't say anything. I was on air all evening that evening, back when President Trump was in Butler. I was like, I'm not touching this because there's no merit. There's no merit to this. You need to be right. It's better to be second and right.
Somebody who shan't be mentioned, I won't mention their name, got 1.5 million views on Twitter, on X, by posting a video of Steve Bannon claiming that Trump could run for a third term in 2028.
Now everyone thinks he's Trump 2028.
And I'm like,
come on.
I'm a historian. I've written and directed and produced movies about the Constitution and the Founding Fathers. Historically, it's my favorite subject. Mm-hmm. I know the subject very well. I'm not a scholar. I only play one on radio and TV, folks, but you can trust me. It took me 10 seconds to write a response. I'm like, no. Article 2, Section 2, boom. Yeah. Amendment 20, Amendment 22. End of discussion. It says can't be elected more than twice.
Yeah.
Why then? And I wrote the guy Okay, I'm gonna tell you who it was. Nick Sortor. I wrote the dude. I'm like, wrong.
Not
I'm
Nick.
like, Nick. No. I'm like, Nick. No. I didn't even get the courtesy of a, hey, Mike, thanks.
Yeah.
This
He's
is
like,
what
how
I
dare you embarrass me?
I wasn't trying to embarrass him. I was trying to embarrass Steve.
Yeah.
I was just trying to gently push back on Steve. I don't think Steve meant it. I guess he actually blamed someone else for it. But these are the kind of things that happen, like with the story that you were talking about the Trump assassin. That was not the Trump assassin.
Mm-hmm.
You should have thought about that. Did you actually look up to see whether or not you could run for the third term was possible?
Right.
It's not.
I also want to mention something else because there was rumors circulating on Twitter last night that, there's an emergency happening in Washington, D.C., Joe Biden rushing back to the White House last night. No, there's no emergency. This was part of his weekly schedule. If you looked back on Sunday night, they released the weekly schedule. They released a weekly schedule and a daily schedule every single day. And President Biden was going to come back from somewhere because he's visiting some children's hospital today for Christmas time. And people, I guess, didn't look at that, and they saw him coming back, and they're like, Joe Biden's rushing back to the White House. 25th Amendment, ? I'm like, no, this is part of his schedule. Stop trying to make something out of nothing. I mean, I trust me, I don't like the guy. I don't like Joe Biden at all, but don't make something out of nothing. Nobody's scrambling back to the White House for nothing. This is all part of the plan. This is a schedule.
One of the things that I have in my, and you may be surprised to find out that talk radio guys have ethics. I tell my audience, and I've been at this for 32 years, I tell my audience, you can trust what I have to tell you. I use my name. That's my name. It's my family's name. I will give you the retraction. You will not have to retract. You will not have to go after me and go like, KingDude was wrong about this. If I screw it up, I will make the retraction.
Yeah.
I will come out and say, hey, guys, I got it wrong. I apologize. It didn't happen that way, or I misnamed this person, or I misnamed that. Here's what actually happened. Please forgive. It doesn't happen very often, a couple times a year. But people can rely on my reporting or my opinion or my commentary, if you will. Why isn't that part of everyone who is in our craft's creed?
I just think it's so important that you show people, like, nobody's perfect. There's going to be errors in reporting. Maybe more news comes out, maybe more information comes out, and you just didn't get it right, or people are speculating. That's why it's always good to use those magic words of allegedly, reportedly, speculations, critics say, etc. just to protect yourself just a little bit more, just in case you don't fully know the true story. But that's what I use. I do it a lot because you just never know. There's always something more. There's always X side, Y side, and the truth of everything at the end of the day. So, but I always think it's so important to give the people the truth, and people respect you a lot more when you admit that you're wrong.
Yes.
Always. And I don't mind swallowing my pride and saying, hey, I was wrong about this. Here's what really happened. We got this right. There's a part that wasn't necessarily brought to light not until later. And I think a lot of these people, especially on X, they have huge egos. They will never admit when they're wrong.
No.
Or they'll just delete the tweet. Oops. And they won't even admit. Or they won't edit it and say, hey, this is edited. This is what I really meant.
Monica Paige.
It's dangerous, yeah.
Tell me about what kind of responsibility it is to be White House correspondent for something. This gets so beautiful. Here, I'll do it. We're happy to announce you got a new White House correspondent. Her name is Monica. She's with Charlie Kirk. He's a great guy. He's a great.
That's probably the best impression I've heard all weekend.
Thank you. How does that feel? White House correspondent for Turning Point USA. Most people in our business probably think that's about as high as you get.
It feels a lot better now than it did over the past 4 years. Okay. That is for sure. But it has been such a wild ride. Just covering the Biden administration has been either very boring or very disheartening and discouraging. You're not only dealing with a very hostile press briefing room where you've got basically every single media member against you, but you also have a press secretary who won't call on you, won't answer any of your emails, or when they do answer your emails, they defer you to a whole another department that won't answer your emails, or they'll just delete your email. So it's very hard for me to get the truth to the American people. I'm in there representing our voice, our people. I'm the American people, and bringing the truth to them. And it's very hard. It feels like your hands are tied when you're trying to learn more. You're trying to ask a question. They won't call on you. They won't go past maybe the fifth row. I mean, in the press briefing room, you got a 7x7. So it's about 49 members of the press, and then in the standing room only. I never had a seat. I'm hoping that this time around we will get a seat on behalf of Turning Point. I would like to officially announce that Turning Point is a member of the White House Correspondents Association. So I'm hoping that now that we have our membership, we are one step closer to getting a seat. But I do hope that this next round of press pool is just a lot more friendlier. But we'll see, because now it's a matter of, it's going to be a lot of propaganda coming out of these left-wing networks. It's going to be a lot of propaganda. It's going to be like 2016, but on steroids. We got Caitlin Collins in the press briefing room now. Remember Jim Acosta? Well, get ready. Buckle up, because Caitlin Collins is back from CNN. She's going to be there. So that's going to be a whole other adventure.
So, do you approach them when you're in the White House, because you're the White House correspondent?
They hate to see me coming.
Do you approach it differently? Because it's maybe something that's even more people are going to watch and more important? Or is it just the same set of principles and you're just in a different room?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's basically, I don't approach these people. I don't talk to them. I smile at them, and I give them, just a little smile, just to know that they're amongst somebody who is very honest and is not afraid, because it's important to not be afraid, because these people will try to bully you and intimidate you into silence, into isolating you away from everybody else. They are slimy people in that press briefing room. They do not want the best for you, but I think this time around, you just have to be brave, and because when you're facing these legacy media members who have decades of more experience than you, I mean, I'm 29 years old. These people are in their 50s, 60s, and they don't like to see any young, fresh
not all
faces.
60s people are bad.
Well, the 60s liberals. The dangerous ones from CNN. Those ones you got to watch out for. They will eat you alive. So you need to be brave. You need to stand your ground. And I'm very excited to see what the Trump administration does to these people.
So will you be doing video reports and
yes,
and writing? Will you be writing your reports or just video reports?
So I will most likely be doing my own writing to put on my on-camera reporting, but a lot of my stuff is on social media. I'm hoping that over the next 4 years, Turning Point does expand to more streaming services. So perhaps you'll see my reports on a streaming platform, but mostly on X, of course, with Frontlines, and hopefully Charlie Kirk's show when he wants to have me on. I'd love to do that. Yeah, traveling with Trump, whatever I can do for him, whatever I can do for you guys. I mean, I would love to, give some tips and expose some more stories. And
you can call my show any day you want. I'll give you the hotline. Just call right on in. So,
absolutely.
All right. While I have someone who is actually at television news here, I have to. I try to make some things funny. Okay, we have to have comedy in our lives.
Yes.
And I'm from the El Rushbo School of Broadcast. Entertain. My three jobs. But one of the things I can remember people writing me about this, going like, "Dude, I never would have thought of that. But now that you did it, I think it's so funny." I'm going to do your out cue and see if I'm close. Reporting from the White House, I'm Monica Paige, TP, USA News.
Wow.
So, but there's a cadence there. Did you practice it? Did you practice your cadence?
Of course I did.
Told you.
Do you want me to do my cadence?
Do it. I want to see. Let's see how close I was.
From the White House, for Frontlines with Turning Point, I'm Monica Paige. Come on, news. Come on, cadence.
Then when you were a little girl and you knew you wanted to follow in O'Reilly's footsteps, it was the host of Early Edition.
Yeah, I think it was.
When there was an Early Edition, it was. It wasn't Entertainment. Was it Entertainment Tonight?
No.
What the heck was that show?
I forget what it was called.
Okay, have you heard the clip where he loses it?
We'll do it live!
Yeah. We'll do it live! We'll do it live!
Yeah.
That's a running joke on the Mike Church Show.
It's a running joke.
If I mess something up...
all the time. It's the best. It's the best line. It's classic.
If I mess something up, I just go... I had the soundbite.
Just press the button.
And then play it. We'll do it live. Monica, it's been great again meeting you and hearing all about your reporting that's coming up for TPUSA. For those of you that don't know, Monica did some reporting for One American News.
Yes, that was my last job for the last year and a half. I exposed Joe Biden's cognitive decline, Kamala Harris's crumbling campaign, which we saw crumble before our very eyes. Horrible, with her knights in shining armor, that Tim Walz, Obama, and...
where is the knight?
I don't know. In the basement.
By the way, President Trump went to Minnesota. You know who was missing from that entourage? The governor of Minnesota.
Tim Walz.
Was not at that meeting where he
Such a weirdo.
Where he almost fell off the stage. What is this? thing is rickety. What is this?
It's horrible.
I want to thank you for being on our schedule and coming by. I don't know about you, but this event is it's kind of overwhelming. It's so large. And there's so many people that you see, God, hey, wait, I know who that is. I know who that is.
It feels great to be here. I mean, the energy is unmatched. I mean, it feels great this year. But the work is not done. The conversations are not done. We still have a lot more work to do. Got to keep this momentum. Got to keep the fight. But, Mike, I really appreciate you having me. I appreciate it.
I signed up, and I got my acknowledgement for the inauguration press pass. Now, I don't expect to get it. But he said, how many live inaugurations have you attended? Have you covered?
Oh, God.
And I went 0.0, but I covered all of them on air, nine of them. Maybe Kate Leverett, maybe someone.
Maybe I'll see you there.
Maybe someone in the press office will have mercy on me and will give me the, I would love to go to the inauguration and cover it. Well, you will be covering it.
I will be there. I'll be at the White House. I'll be watching the Joe Biden, President Trump handshake as he walks up on the North Lawn. His motorcade pulls up. He'll walk through the front door, and that's when the party starts.
That's when the party starts.
And the mass deportation start.
Monica Paige, TP USA, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it.
And I'm going to send it live back to the studio here for just a moment. Then we're going to have Father Calvin Robinson is coming up. You know Father Calvin?
No, he sounds great.
Yeah, well, he's right there.
There he is. Here he comes.
Father Calvin Robinson coming up next here of our live coverage here at Turning Point USA and America Fest. I almost said America West again. It's White Church of KingDude with Monica Paige here on the Crusade Radio Network, live talk at campaign and convention radio and TV, the way it should be. Don't you hate that pregnant stare at a piece of glass?
I know. Especially when you're over with an interview and you're like, thanks so much.